Chiefs Kingdom, it is mailbag time here on the Chiefs Report. I'm Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. And before we get to your questions, comment MB for mailbag. If you want more mailbag episodes like today's show, if you enjoy these type of shows, comment MB in the comments below because we love getting your guys' input. But if you as an audience viewer aren't interested, then hey, we'll ditch this type of content. So we'll keep it up to you guys. MB in the chat below if you want more mailbag episodes. Kick things off with Mrs. Eggleston, 77, saying, what do you think is a realistic expectation for Xavier Worthy this season? It's a tough question because, his style of play is very boom-bust-ish. Now, one season in, I don't think anything could happen for me to be like, oh, this guy's got no chance of working. But when you look at his college numbers last year, it would be a surprise if he flirted with the 1,000-yard season, but it wouldn't be crazy, right? He could average 18 yards a catch with how explosive he is, and if you catch 60, 70 passes, that's going to get you over 1,000 yards. So, I don't know. To me, if I'm just spitballing, can you hit 40 catches and average 13, 14 yards? If he had 40 catches, 600-plus yards, and a handful of touchdowns, I think that'd be a resounding success because you have Travis Kelce. If Rashee Rice is playing, he's going to get more targets. So, the beauty is he doesn't have to produce at a super high level, but if he does, that's a great thing for this offense. So, I have, kind of wide receiver 3 number type of expectations this year. Then hopefully, long term, he can be that true number 2 receiver, deep ball threat consistently. How about over/under 6.5 touchdowns for Worthy this season? Type O for over or U for under. He's going to get a couple of deep ball touchdowns just with his speed alone. So if he can find a few more, I think he's got a chance to get there. What do you guys think? O for over or U for under? Go to Taylor Gant here. He says, do you think Jaden Hicks could show out in training camp and win a starting spot? I think it's possible, Taylor. I think you got to consider a couple of things here. One, Steve Spagnuolo spoke glowingly of Hicks in training camp. A lot of in OTAs, in minicamp. A lot of draft experts had him as a day 2 pick, second, third round. They got him in the 4th, so I think the value was there. I think he's got starting potential. The question is, who is he unseating? I don't think he's unseating Justin Reid and Brian Cook, who's likely going to be your free safety this year. That's not really just Jaden Hicks' game as a player. Now, you could play Reid at free and put Hicks at strong. I suppose that's possible. At the same time, me saying that, Spags likes to run a lot of 3 safety looks. So Jaden Hicks is going to see some time. I could see his role this year being kind of like that extra linebacker sometimes because I think he's best served as a downhill safety. Kind of like a poor man's Jamal Adams where he's going to hit people hard and get some tackles for loss and stuff like that. So I could be like a 12th member of the defense, 13th, like him and Shamari Connor, depending on the defensive schemes, they're going to move around a lot. So I don't think he'll be a starter in traditional 4-3 sets or even nickel, but in dime packages and heavier linebacker situations where they want to make him an extra linebacker, I do think he'll see the field quite a bit. Saucy Santa 12, love that name. Forget Travis Kelce for a second. Do you think there's a chance this is Reid's last year? Look, I feel like every year we go into this, Andy Reid's going to walk away, and then every year it's kind of similar rhetoric from his standpoint. This is what he said last year after the Super Bowl, and he said something similar the year before. He said, you know how the questions are at the Super Bowl. You do the media night, and Bill's not coaching anymore. Pete's not coaching anymore, so I'm the next old guy. So I'm getting asked that question every 5 minutes, and that's not where I'm at right now. I don't feel that way that I need to retire right now. And, yeah, he's right. He's kind of the next out of the older crop of coaches at 66. He's been a head coach for, quarter century. He doesn't really have anything to prove at this point. But if you're Andy Reid and you still enjoy going to work every week, why would you retire? Going to work every day. You have the best player in the NFL at the most important position in Patrick Mahomes, the ability to be a Super Bowl contender every year. If you enjoy it, A, you're making a lot of money. B, you're working with an unbelievable player at quarterback. If if they didn't have Mahomes, honestly, he'd probably be retired by now. Like, I just think he's like, why would I walk away right now? If I'm still enjoying it, screw it. Like, I get to coach Patrick Mahomes and be in the mix to win a Super Bowl every year. Like, that's a pretty unique situation. And he's probably looking at this like, hey, like, I could win 3 more of these things potentially with Mahomes. So, I think you have to consider the possibility that once a person reaches a certain age in any profession that they could be year to year, like they could walk away at any point. But it doesn't seem like he's there. But again, at his age, he might wake up in December and be like, I'm tired of doing this. This is going to be my last year. I doubt it, but it's certainly a possibility. Do you think Andy Reid retires this year? Y for yes, N for no. I'd be pretty surprised. Something I've thought about is he may just go as long as Travis goes. Like Kelce plays 3, 4, 5 more years, maybe they retire together. I don't think Mahomes will retire before Andy Reid because I think Mahomes is playing at least another 10 years. I don't think Reid will do another 10. Could he do another 5 though? 6? See him coaching into his 70s. Definitely think that's a possibility. Speaking of Travis Kelce, by the way, Super Bowl jerseys Kelce edition, 50% off. It's a steal. Chatsports.com/KelseySB, as in Super Bowl. Chatsports.com/KelseySB. Link is in the comments and description. Get yourself a Super Bowl jersey today. You got the patch on there, which is awesome. Chatsports.com/KelseySB. Click that link in the comments and description and go get one today. Green-eyed Bush babies. Love it. What do you set the line at for Taylor being at the first game? What additions are we looking to make on defense with extra cap space? Assuming there's no breakup with Kelce and Taylor Swift, which that would be pretty shocking at this point, right? I mean, Kelce has done a couple podcasts recently talking about, and it seems like it's better than ever. Assuming they're together, again, I don't know her concert schedule or anything off the top of my head. I'd say it's minus 500 she's there, right? Like, it's very good odds she will be at Arrowhead opening night. And I would guess out of the 8 or 9 home games this year, how many they play, I bet she's at 6 or more of them. Like, she did an interview last year and was like, I wasn't a huge football fan growing up, started dating Travis, came to these games, and, like, feel like I've missed out. Like, she genuinely looks like she's having a good time there. Like, I don't know, like, back in the day, Tony Romo always dated these celebrities, and, like, they didn't really look like they were having fun. She looks like she's actually enjoying it, and she's got this relationship with Mahomes' wife now, and they're hanging out. So I think she's going to be there a lot, and she seems to really enjoy herself. And she seems to be into it, too. Like, she's fist pumping and stuff like that, so that's been cool to see. As far as additions on defense, these are a few names I'd throw out there. We've talked about adding a pass rusher. I think Emmanuel Ogbah, Yannick Ngakoue are the top guys out there. At defensive end. Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard, they could be insurance policies if Jalen Watson or Joshua Williams isn't ready to take that next step after trading L'Jarius Sneed. They're guys that are out there. If you want to really just load up at safety and upgrade there, Justin Simmons is out there. I think he'll cost a decent amount, so I'd be surprised, but he's a name to keep in mind as well. A couple more here. Luka Doncic. Other than Chris Jones, who would you say is the most important player on the Chiefs' defense? I'd probably go Nick Bolton, but you could argue Trent McDuffie too, especially with L'Jarius Sneed no longer being here. It's definitely those two. But Bolton, you lost Willie Gay in free agency. Drew Tranquill's a nice player. He's back. But when Bolton's playing and playing well, I mean, he's so dynamic. He's great against the run. He can cover as well, sideline to sideline. And these teams sit in nickel all the time now. You need to have at least one dude at linebacker, and he's a dude. He's really, really good. So, he's critical. McDuffie on the back end is an important piece as well because, he was great last year, but you had Sneed out there as well. He's going to play more outside here in 2024, so slight positional change for him. But, you need him to live up to the billing. User QI and a bunch of numbers and letters. The Chiefs won't break the bank for one player. Other players to sign, we could bring back Richie James for less and maybe David Bakhtiari. I don't think you'll bring back Richie James. A, he did not contribute much at all last year. And B, you have like 4 Richie Jameses. Like McCole Hardman, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Richie James, they're kind of all the same. Like they're short, fast guys. So you don't need to bring another Richie James in here. Bakhtiari, listen, I'm on board. I've, mentioned left tackle a bunch on this channel. You look at his recent odds of who's most likely to sign him. You got the Bears up there who could look to beef up their offensive line. The Chiefs. Ravens are an interesting one to put opposite of Ronnie Stanley. Dallas, Rams as well. Look, I'm going to continue to beat the drum. You've got a second-year player coming off a year in which he played some and was up and down in Wanya Morris, and you've got rookie Kingsley Suamataia. You're trying to win a third straight Super Bowl. Do you feel comfortable going to war with that situation at left tackle? Maybe they do. I would like to add a vet there, and Bakhtiari is someone that's still out there. So, appreciate the question there. Kennedy Taylor, producer Joey's better half, we'll say here. Hey, Harrison, you're married. I'm curious, do you think Travis and Taylor are going to get married? You know, like, it's an interesting question because when they first coupled up, you were like, there's just no chance, right? Like, he's the raw kind of meathead guy. She's the more, like, kind of quiet but famous person. But, like, I think they've kind of brought the best out of each other, right? Like, Kelsey is still that raw guy, especially in competition, but, like, you hear him talk on his podcast and other shows, and it's like, I think she's, like, mellowed him out a bit in a good way, but I think the opposite is true, too. Like, you watch Taylor at these football games, she's, like, all into it. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it's awesome. Like, I would have never pegged them for each other. Like, she admitted she wasn't into football before they dated. Now she really likes it, and you know, she's writing songs about him, and he's going on stage at concerts. His brother Jason's super into it. They all seem to get along. So, listen, I'm all for it. I know there's a lot of polarizing debate about whether, you know, this is a good relationship or not. I say, hey, as long as they're into it, that's all that matters. Marriages, talk about two high-level celebrities. Who knows, right? But I'd say this. If they're still together after this season, I'll go hot take. I could see him proposing next offseason. Listen, he's going to be 35 by then. I could see it. I think this season's critical, like going through a whole nother year where he's playing, traveling, she's concert touring, all that stuff. Because, last couple months they've obviously spent a lot of time together. So I could see it. I could see it after this season, but got to get there first. I don't think there would be any kind of proposal before this impending Super Bowl run. How about this? Producer Joey listening to me on this one too. What if, I don't think he would do this, what if they won the Super Bowl and on the field afterwards he proposed? You want to talk about the most high-profile proposal in literal human history? I think that would be it right there. That would be an electric factory. All right, I'm rambling too much. Appreciate all the questions. Again, spam MB in the chat if you want more of these mailbag episodes. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.